시작하죠. Good morning. This morning we are going to study comparison, how to compare things, right, in a poem. There are two different ways, right? One is simile and another metaphor. Simile is what? In Korean, simile? What is it in Korean? Simile. 직유. Literally, direct comparison, 직유. And the metaphor is what? In Korean? Metaphor, onyo. And the simile is formed what? Like with such word as 뭐뭐처럼, 뭐뭐같이, right? Like, or as happy as a lark, as or like. The simile. And metaphor is what? Metaphor is what? Metaphor is what? Is a hidden comparison, right? Example of the words to indicate something different from the literal meaning. For example, he has a heart of stone. He has a heart of stone. Or compare this with the simile. His heart is like stone. Without this kind of metaphor, the life will be boring, right? If you look at sky, a cloud, right? Cloud changes over time, right? So some will say, oh, it's like a ship, or it's like a tiger, or things like that. So, but in a court, can you use metaphor? It's very difficult, right? So life will be boring without simile or metaphors, right? So today you are going to use that kind of expressions. And the textbook is from page 94. There is some introduction to the to metaphor and simile metaphor. The beginning paragraph is like this. Imagine a literal world in which nothing was ever seen in terms of anything else. Falling blossoms wouldn't remind you of snow. A dancer's sensuous grace wouldn't resemble the movements of a lover. The shape of cloud would never suggest a horse or sailing ship. If such a world were possible, it would be a severely impoverished one, right? Very poor world. In fact, we live in a figurative world. Our language and our thinking, our very perceptions are metaphoric, right? Metaphorized. We continually make comparison connections, often without even realizing that we are doing so. So comfortable are we with seeing in this way. Constantly, contrary to what you might think if you're beginning to study the craft of poetry, the use of figurative language isn't new skill. It's the skill you already know. Okay, and before you, your writing assignment. This morning you are going to write a poem using a simile or a metaphor. So I will give you the ideas. This is also the ideas for your homework assignment. Okay, idea 1, page 101. Here are a few similes we like. For example, there is a poem. is not the whole poem, but it's part of poem taken from a few poets. One of the poets is William Carlos Williams. I like him. He's a great American poet, 20th century poet. One of his poems is like this, the last quote. Her body is not so white as anemone petals, nor so smooth, nor so remote a thing. Actually, this is a depiction of a carrot, wild carrot. But the comparison is so much like what? Human body, very beautiful, right? William Carlos Williams. Okay, idea 2. There's an old joke that goes, your teeth are like stars, they come out at night. The second sentence reverses our expectations of like stars. In a poem by Margaret Atwood, a similar reversal occurs. Okay? Okay, let's go to another idea. Idea 5, using archaeology. Archaeology as a model. Think about the process of writing a poem is. Think about what the process of writing a poem is for you. What is it? The writing process, what is it? Building a bridge, falling off a cliff, baking bread, taking an ocean voyage. Once you've chosen the metaphor for your creative process, make a list of vocabulary you might use specifically to that metaphor. Then write a poem trying to work in the most interesting words. Work in the most interesting words, right? So, building process, it's similar to writing a poem, right? Another idea, write a brief 7 to 10 line poem with an abstract title. For example, loneliness, fear, desire, ecstasy, greed, suffering, pleasure. Make the poem a metaphor for the title without using the abstraction in the poem. Another idea, write a negative simile like it wasn't like, it wasn't like, it wasn't like. Positive simile, it's like, it's like, it's like, things like that. Or another idea, write a poem using a similar metaphor which goes on for at least 5 lines. Like, 5 lines. Not like, not like, not like. Or metaphor, comparison, indirect comparison, right? Write 5 lines continuously using simile, a simile. Okay, we're going to read some examples, and they are very good poet. 2 poems by William Blake. Another by P.B. Shelley, Percy B. Shelley. Another by John Keats. And finally, a poem by William Butler Yeats. Right? They are very beautiful. A short poem. Okay, I'll show you. The first poet we are going to look at is William Blake. He was a painter, engraver, painter. His watercolor is beautiful. I'll show you. William Blake. English poet, painter, and printmaker. And he was born in the 18th century, and but he is called 19th century poet, right? William Blake. This is a painting by by the poet, by the painter, by the William Blake. Another painting. Left one, another painting. You see the death mask? Head of William Blake. William Blake. Now we are going to read two of his poems. Okay, the handout with the illustration painting is William Blake's. The invisible worm that flies in the night in the howling storm has found out thy bed of crimson joy. And his dark secret love does thy life destroy. Okay, the sick rose. The sick rose. Oh rose, thou art sick. You are sick, right? A rose, you are sick. The invisible worm that flies in the night in the howling storm has found out thy bed of crimson joy. The invisible worm, the verb is what? In the next stanza, has found out thy bed of crimson joy. And this dark secret love does destroy thy life. The sick rose. What kind of metaphor is it? The sick rose. Maybe his love, right? What kind of woman is she? Femme fatale, fatal woman, right? And you'll be destroyed, right? Very beautiful. It's a rose, thou art sick, the invisible worm that flies in the night in the howling storm has found out thy bed of crimson joy, and his dark secret love does destroy thy life. Okay, another poem, the fly. A little fly. The speaker is addressing a little fly, right? A little fly. Thy summer's play, thy summer's play, my thoughtless hand has brushed away. Okay? It's an emphasis. Little fly, my thoughtless hand has brushed away what? Thy summer's play. My hand brushed away your summer's play. Fly. Well, usually the fly is what? Annoying, yeah? You blushed away, right? Or you kill it, slap it, right? And am I not a fly like thee? Am I not a fly like thee? I'm like a fly, like that. I'm like a fly. So it's comparison kind of. So what kind? The lover, the poet is in what kind of position? Maybe his love, his woman, does not like him, and he treats him as a fly. So it's a metaphor, right? Am I not like a fly like thee, or art not thou a man like me? For I dance and drink and sing, till some blind hand shall brush my wing. If thought is life, and strength or breath, if thought is life and strength and breath, and the want of thought is death. So, if thought is life, then the want of thought is death. If you do not think me is like that, right? Then am I a happy fly? Am I a happy fly? if I live or if I die? Do I enjoy life or do I have to face death? What kind of life is it? Why don't you love me? It's like death if you do not love me. So beautiful, right? It's beautiful. Okay, let's go to another poem by P.C. Shelley. Music when soft voices die. Did you find it? You find it? The poem is by Shelley. Music, right? Music. Music when soft voices die vibrates in the memory. Music vibrates in the memory when soft voices die. Music's voice dies, right? Music is heard, right? It's past, it's passé, right? But music vibrates in the memory. Music lives in the memory, vibrates in the memory. So the verb is wonderful. That verb. Music vibrates in the memory, actually in your heart, in the memory. Odors, smell. When sweet violets thicken, and it's dead, odors live within the sense, they quicken, right? The odors quicken what? Quicken what? The sense, live within the sense, they quicken. Okay, look at the rhyme scheme, rhyming, right? Die, memory, thicken, quicken, dead, the bad, gone, on, right? Okay, next stanza, the second stanza. Rose leaves, when the rose is dead, are heaped for the beloved's dead. And so thy thoughts, when thou art gone, love itself shall slumber on. Love itself shall slumber on. Shelley, okay. And there is another poem. Okay, beautiful poem by a different poet. John Keats. He is actually a little Shakespeare. He died young, but his poetry is wonderful. John Keats. And the poem is a little longer. It's called Ode on a Grecian Urn. Ode on a Grecian urn vessel that contains human remains. Urn. And there is a picture on it, it's carved, and he is talking about this urn. And it's one of stanzas. Let's have a look at two stanzas. John Keats, stanza 2 and the stanza 3. Okay. Stanza 2 is is similar to Shelley's music, right? Heard melodies are sweet. But those melodies unheard, and those unheard are sweeter. Therefore, ye soft pipes play on. You soft pipes, meaning the pipers, right? The musicians. Soft pipes play on. Not to the essential ear. Wonderful. Not to the essential ear. Meaning what? What does it mean? Not to the human, right? Not to the humans living, right? So, not to the essential ear, but more endeared ear, right? And more endeared. Pipe to the sprit ditties of no tone. Fair youth, beneath the trees. Fair youth, he's looking at the sculpts, reliefs, right? He's looking at the surface of the urn. It's a depiction of a funeral procession. Fair youth, beneath the trees, thou canst not leave thy song. nor ever can those trees be bare. Both lover, never, never, canst thou kiss? Why? Why can't you kiss? Why? It's a picture, right? It's a depiction of a moment. A love, a girl, a woman is running away, and the lover, a man, is chasing, is in chasing, and the moment is frozen. Right? The moment is frozen. So, both lover, never, never canst thou kiss, though winning near the goal, yet do not grieve. She cannot fade. Why she cannot fade? It's a picture, right? It's a sculpture. Though thou canst not, thy bliss, forever wilt thou love. She be fair. Beautiful. It's kind of what? A poem about an artifact, a container, urn. Very beautiful, right? And there is another poet, one of the greatest poets in the 20th century, William Butler Yeats, No Second Troy. This poem is what? If you write this kind of poem, you will talk your girlfriend into loving you, right? It's a very beautiful poem. Actually, this poem was written for his lifelong love, Maud Gonne. But they never got married. Yeats waited until at the age of 52. But she had never agreed to marry him. And this is the early poem when Yeats was young and Maud Gonne was young. No Second Troy. Do you know the history of Troy, the Trojan War? Huh? Trojan War. The war broke out because of a woman, beautiful woman, called what? Helen. So Yeats compares, in this poem, Yeats compares Maud Gonne to Helen, with Helen. Right? It's a wonderful praise. Well, okay, let's look at the poem. No Second Troy. Why should I blame her that she filled my days with misery, or that she would of late have taught to ignorant man most violent ways, or hurl the little street upon the great? It moves very smoothly, quickly, right? What does it mean? Why should I blame her? What does it mean? I would not blame her. I would not blame her. That she filled my days with misery. She filled my days with misery. Or blame her that she would of late, recently, have taught to ignorant man most violent ways. Actually, Maud Gonne was what? Fighter. She was fighting against England for independence. Irish independence. She was a fighter, one of the fighters, right? And she taught young men, right? And many of them died, right? So ignorant man, most violent ways, or hurl the little streets upon the great, hurl the little streets upon the great streets. Very poetic expression. Hurl the little streets upon the great streets, right? She caused the war and demonstrations. Hurl the street upon the great. Had they about courage equal to desire? Had they about courage equal to desire? What would have made her peaceful with the mind? What could have made her peaceful? What could have made her peaceful? Nothing. Nothing could have made her peaceful, right? with the mind, she had the mind. What kind of mind? With the mind that nobleness made simple. Nobleness made simple as a fire. Nobleness made the mind simple as a fire. As simple as a fire is a metaphor. Simple as a fire. With beauty like a Titan bow. Beautiful. Her mind is like a Titan bow. Titan bow, right? Titan bow. With beauty like a Titan bow. A kind that is not natural in an age like this. So she should have been born in the ancient, right? Is not natural in an age like this. Being high and solitary and most stern, why? What could she have done, being what she is? Was there another Troy for her to burn? Great poem, very powerful poem. Very good poem. So, can you write this kind of poem? No, impossible. No, it's possible, right? In 4 months, you'll be like that, right? Okay, let's try. Okay, why don't we take about 10 minutes break and then we'll do the poem. Okay, thank you.